Your Honor, today we've heard lots of testimony from the defense related to an incident where the defendant hit a trooper with a car she was driving while resisting arrest. Your Honor, she has pled guilty today to resisting arrest. It was stated through the defendant's own testimony that she was trying to run away quickly. Is it then reasonable, Your Honor, to believe that while an officer is making an arrest, he has time to think to throw himself in front of a vehicle to somehow set up a suspect? Or is it more reasonable to believe that in a chaotic scene where an officer is trying to arrest someone, that a hasty decision to get in a car and drive away causes an officer to be struck by a vehicle? As for the brandishing charge, Your Honor, while we heard lots of testimony today regarding the defendant not pulling a gun, it was stated that she did, in fact, have a gun, and that all of the witnesses, by their own words, are friends. Therefore, again, Your Honor, is it not unreasonable to believe friends cover for each other? That's all I have. Thank you, Your
Honor. Okay. Defense, would you like to highlight any evidence?
I would like to highlight in general the lack of evidence, Your Honor, the lack of any evidence regarding testimony of my client actually producing a weapon.
Understood. With that, would you like to begin your...
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, Ms. Sago, you're good.
All right. Your Honors, no evidence has been produced today that Indy Rose ever produced a weapon, aside from the testimony, which is not under oath, of an officer who could not be bothered to appear today despite holding my client for around 3 hours now. Additionally, several other officers who were on the scene could similarly not be bothered to provide their own testimony to this case because they too are unable to swear under oath that Indy Rose had a gun in her hand. The officers could not testify to this, but you've heard testimony from 3 eyewitnesses who were there at the scene, who have all under oath today sworn beneath these many flags that Indy Rose did not produce a gun. Is the weight of testimony from 3 young people not worth the unsworn, unseen, and unsupported by physical evidence? To the point of battery, Your Honors, the testimony today has shown that Indy's car was not traveling at a sufficient speed to injure anyone. Yet she was met with lethal force nonetheless. Officers have shown time and again their efforts to profile my client and her social club, and ran aground as soon as the crucible of justice could burn away all the falsities of their testimony or lack thereof. Thank you, Your Honors.
We deliberated for quite some time on this. We went through every photo, we went through the statement, we went through the testimony of all 3 individuals that testified. I'm going to start off with the easy one, resisting. Ms. Rose, you've already pled guilty to that. So, for brandishing, we have a statement from a trooper inside of the report. Prosecution, I understand you requested a continuance because of the fact that the trooper was not able to be here. With that, we gave the option to the defense to take this statement in the fact that we would take it in due regard. The issue we run into on brandishing is the fact that there are, from testimony from Indy Rose, there were other troopers on scene. We have no idea if these troopers saw what happened because they were not here to testify. We also have no gun in evidence. If she's being charged with brandishing, there should be a gun, correct? With that, just based off of the statement alone from the trooper, we have way too many questions that put way too much doubt into whether or not Miss Rose actually brandished a firearm. So we will be finding her not guilty on the charge of brandishing. For the battery on a LEO, This one we discussed quite a bit, and we kind of came to the same conclusion as the brandishing charge. Again, in Corporal Price's own statement, there were other troopers there to see what happened. And none of those troopers are here today in my courtroom. There is evidence on the ground for casings and blood, which we have no idea who it belongs to. The state could have presented whether or not those were trooper casings or Saints casings or whatever's casings there were to help clear up the picture on where everybody was in this situation. There's no medical report for the trooper being injured. We then come into the fact that Miss Rose did admit to hitting the trooper, with Corporal Price's and Mrs. Rose's statements differing rather slightly. What we came to on this is the first word of the charge: willful. To be charged with battery on a LEO, you must willfully injure a law enforcement officer while they are conducting their duties. And through Corporal Price's statement, Andy Rose's testimony, and the rest of the testimony given, I again have too many questions to be able to answer without a doubt whether or not she willfully did it. So we will be finding her not guilty on that charge as well. We will be available for questioning by the state and by the defense if you would like after this. Officers, please remand Miss Rose to custody for the resisting charge. Court is adjourned.
W judge.
Yes, sir.
W judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
W judge.
I want
W
both
judge.
counselors.
W judge.
Hold on
W
one second. I want
judge.
both-
You may want to check Life Invader. As I'm assuming they're locked in there with her.
Who's she with? Is she with,
She's of the Saints. She's, I thought she was the nicest saint.
Well, what do you think happened when you put someone in a cage for 5 hours? And act like they don't, you know.
I mean,
That's
to
what
be
you
fair,
do.
I'd do this, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
first,
surprised Morgan survived the hour and a half.
yeah, honestly.
Wait, Morgan went to jail?
No,
she's just
he
held
was
against
in
her
the
will.
cells. Yeah.
Wait, what? Why?
I think as like a general practice, the PDO needs to, at the end of a trial, request that the judge put in for time served, because the police officers have made it very clear that they are incapable of using their discretion, and they just want to punish and retaliate against a bad verdict that they think happened.
That, and if you're a lawyer, do not be in the cells alone. Make sure that if a officer is leaving, you leave with them, or they will leave you in there for an hour and a half with no phones or radio.
Yeah, no, they locked us in. We had a client, we went down there, they refused counsel, and we sat down there for 10 minutes before they came down to check. And we're like, he
Now
refused
imagine-
counsel like 6 minutes ago, man. We've just been sitting here.
Imagine that, but the PD just leaves for an hour and a half.
What the hell? That's a civil suit.
Yep.
Your Honor, you shouldn't look at this, but Evelyn, look at Life Invader.
Skip. Wow. Only 69?
Should we go visit?
Now I'm fucking curious, goddammit.
I mean, it's not like she's conflicted. I mean, the chick's in a hut. I mean, it's not like
That's true.
she's saying anything incriminating.
I just feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
She one of
Yeah,
the good
she got-
ones.
She got shit on.
All right, I'll check in with you later, Mr. Fisher. We have one
Alright,
last mission.
But if you're going
Sounds
up
good.
there, let her know that whatever nice things you can come up with for me to say.
Doc Block appreciates you.
Yeah,
Doc Block misses you or something along those lines.
something like that.
We got you.
All right. Thanks, Evelyn. Where are we going?
We're going to the prison.
Oh, Jesus.
We're gonna go see a member of a very notorious gang who is a very, very notorious terrorist.
Oh, Lord.
And a good friend. Kind of.
Alright.
Are you familiar with the Saints, sir?
No, sir, I do not believe so.
Okay, so the Saints are a very, very powerful gang in the city.
Uh-huh.
There you are. And how do I describe this? They do a lot of crazy, but I find it quite entertaining, and the way that they do it a lot of the time is almost flagrantly playing with the law, which I find again entertaining. When you go down to a cell rep for them very regularly, by the way, you are drifting very heavily to the right, sir.
Yeah, no, we're gonna go ahead and hit a repair before we head up there, if you don't mind.
I don't mind that.
Well, hello there.
Hi.
How's it going, Miss Indy?
Hello,
I'm
Miss Emily.
okay. Not really okay, but I'm doing. I could be worse. I could be better.
Let's check my notes.
What? You're on a hut? I thought you were just... I thought the trial happened yesterday.
Yeah,
Well,
do you want to
thank
hear
you.
the story? It's
Actually,
kind of a long
yes.
story.
I got time. Let's hear it.
Well, so it's a series of events that led to me being here on a hut charge. So I got arrested. I was in the cells for 2 hours. I went to court. I was in court for an hour. So between the time of me getting cuffed and me getting a verdict from the judge was 3 hours. The judge found me not guilty, told the cops to take me to RPD, give me my stuff back, and release me. Now, the cops didn't do that. The cops took me to RPD, they put me in a cell and said, hey, Indy, while you were in court, a new warrant was written up for you. You're going to prison for 150 months for something that you did a couple days ago. And so I started crashing out and saying, you guys have had me in custody for 3 hours. I've been found not guilty. Now you have a new warrant that you've maliciously made while I'm in a courtroom, giving me no chance to get my shit together or even try and evade or try and do anything. You've just basically entrapped me. Surely you could take into consideration that I've just been in your custody for 3 hours, been found not guilty. So this new warrant, you could really use the time that I've just spent against that, you know? And at no point, so I asked for a lawyer. They said that no lawyers were on duty, which I've actually now found that to be incorrect because the lawyer that I just had, Soggle, in my court case, she was on duty. She was talking to the rest of the Saints outside the courthouse while this was happening.
I was actually available as well, too.
So this happened right after my court case, and I've been told that lawyers were available.
Yes.
So
we were.
they didn't let me get lawyers. Phoebe Finch signed off, and she basically kept telling me to shut the fuck up, stop crying, and that I need to take responsibility and accountability for my actions. And not really one person stood in and said, hey, this is kind of unacceptable that we've had Indy for 3 hours and now we're going to send her up for another 2.5 hours. So that's 5.5 hours that I spent from being cuffed to leaving prison. A lot of lawyers that I've spoke to, I don't even know who the f*** is representing me. I was told that within 12 to 24 hours that I would have chance of bail, and not even one person spoken to me.
Wait, you haven't spoken to a lawyer yet?
I kind of spoke to lawyers. I spoke to Liz, and Liz says that I should take a plea deal and plea for to get out after 5 years. But then I spoke to other lawyers who said that I can definitely get off of this because they don't think it's for political reasons. And so I don't even know who my lawyer is because I've spoke to 4 lawyers. I don't know.
Okay. Let me check some stuff real quick here because we might be able to sort some of that out for you right now. I don't want you worrying about that. Give me a moment.
Okay. I don't know who's taking control of me, who's in charge. There's 6 of us, 6 Saints in here on terrorist charges.
Okay,
And I want to
gotcha.
add, when you're ready for the rest of the story, I do want to add that one of them is actually completely not guilty.
I'm not seeing anything here filed for this yet. If you would like me to, I would very much be willing to file for a bail hearing on behalf of you folks. I'm gonna need a little bit more information.
See,
But,
I'm
yeah.
worried about bail. Like, we've kind of spoken about it as a group, and we don't know if it's the best idea. But I don't know if I can stay in here for 10 days. I'm not gonna lie, I might actually have a breakdown again. So do you want to hear about the actual terrorism itself?
Sure.
So I was getting heated and heated and heated. The saints on the outside were getting heated and heated and heated that I was being detained for 5 hours.
Essentially bullied by the justice system.
Literally. And so, the saints on the outside that weren't in prison were doing some with the police, I guess, shooting them, kidnapping them and stuff. What we didn't know is that a police officer was on our radio the whole time from when I first got sent into prison.
Oh
So
my
they were
God.
listening to all the kidnapping that was taking place. When I left prison, I got a group of 5 of us, me and 4 others. We stood outside MRPD and we basically said that we were going to start shooting the police. We ended up getting sniper rifles and being on the roofs of buildings overlooking MRPD. I called 911 and I said, "This is Indy Rose. Any police officer that leaves this building is getting shot. I have snipers pointed at your building." And they were essentially locked in MRPD for an hour and a half because we were shooting them every time they left. And because they were on our radio, they managed to figure out which roofs we were on. They managed to sneak out and counteract us and shoot us in the backs. And then we got put on terrorist charges. Now, Jamar Jenkins, so there were 5 of us. Jamar was number 6. Jamar is 3rd in command of the Saints. He was on our radio, but there's also 27 other people on that radio because we're a very large gang. He heard our radio comms go silent and he couldn't contact any of us. So he literally just drove past MRPD to see if we were okay. And he did a very slow drive-by. The police blasted him from the car and then have also arrested him on terrorism. So I feel really bad for Jamar because he actually wasn't involved in any of the MRPD stuff. He was just seeing if we were okay.
Okay, so can I give you a pitch here?
Yeah.
Because the law happens to be my wheelhouse, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You might not remember me, but I remember you, and I remember how kind you were, and I was so upset when I saw all of this on Life Invader, because I was like, damn, she's one of the good ones. She doesn't deserve all this nonsense in the first place. Okay, I really, really do not like the situation you find yourself in. And not only that, but from what I'm hearing right now, we can at least take this somewhere. Whether it's going to be to a plea deal or all the way to court, or whether... The thing is here's the deal. HUT charges are not open and closed. I'm actually working one right now, and I'm about 2 days away from having all of it dismissed and my client being refunded everything plus time served. Here's my take on what we're looking at here. We can file a bail request for all of you. We can get that thing rolling, right? Worst case scenario, they deny it, or the terms aren't amenable, or there just isn't enough money to make it possible, right? At any point, we can halt the process or just choose to, you know, not follow through on that. But it at least makes sure that they're aware that there's a lawyer on this case and that we are going to be starting advocating for you, right?
Yeah,
The next thing after that is they have to file the actual stuff onto the docket within a couple of days of everything going down. They need to provide us with all of that information. And when they do that, as long as you're willing to accept me as your representation, I will be able to look over all of that and confirm or deny what that trooper was saying from a legal perspective.
Yeah.
Once we look over all of that, then we can talk about the viability of 2 routes. Either we take it to court or we take it to a deal. We either are like, all right, yep, you're dead to rights. Let's go, you know, another year. Because we'd be talking like 4 years at that point, probably.
The police officers just messaged me and said the case is on the docket. Looks like they're discussing things currently and should be reaching out ASAP.
Oh yes, give me one moment. I'm gonna review this. Alrighty, I have formally filed my notice of entry, so we are now on the criminal docket handling that for you. Would you like me to start the necessary process for a bail hearing?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Certainly.
Howard, you already not had your bail hearing yet. Indeed.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, but you said you didn't want bail.
Are you going to be filing that separately, or are you going to be filing that for me, for all 6 of us?
I will be filing that for all 6 of you as a group, as Miss Indy
Okay.
has requested as well.
Yes, please. If there is, we only want to do it on the condition that we can all still associate with the
Correct.
6 of us outside of prison.
Correct. One thing I am going to require from each of you that you could get for me for that is going to be a picture of each of your bank accounts.
Okay.
Yeah, I violated my bail conditions.
What if it's in minus?
It was.
That doesn't actually end up in resulting in everything going awry. They may ask for a vouch.
Ooh, but then that person's gonna be on the hook for your bail amount.
I'm $50,000 in debt.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting bail in negative.
I mean, I did have a client get a negative 23,000 because of the number of fines. If you check the number of fines against your amount of debt, that may help you there.
Oh yeah, one of my fines is negative 30,000.
All right. Oh. Okay. I will be having a discussion with Mr. Temple, who seems to have also entered in as your defense once he is available.
My defense?
Yes. So.
Or us in.
Yeah, so as a group, I am speaking as
Okay.
the pejorative, the large group. So currently you have 3 lawyers who have entered in as a notice of entry, which means that we said, hey, we're here, we're doing this. That is Morgan Luna, First Temple, and myself.
Okay.
I haven't seen much of Miss Luna. However, I can say that Mr. Temple is a very hardworking individual, and he is head of the PDO, so that he is that for a reason.
Mm-hmm. This is Jamar. This is the one that wasn't actually involved in the shooting. He was just driving past the area and got pulled up.
Gotcha. Hello, Mr. Jamar. You and I are also going to have a discussion separately of the situation they're facing, because you may be facing something where we may be able to countersue for civil.
Oh, for real?
So we may have to have a discussion here, because did the officers ever speak to you or give you any kind of orders or anything?
In reference to when they shot at me at the car?
That is
You
correct,
just got
sir.
lit up, dude.
Yeah.
You just got lit up, G.
I drove. Yeah. Honestly, no, they didn't say not one word. I was driving in the car, trying to figure out what was going on. They just started blasting me from the roof, yo. And then Bloom admitted it. And he said he did it because he thought, I think he said he heard me approaching on the radio. And then he saw me, but he never, I don't remember any lawful orders being given or nothing, or not even like a stop. It was just shoot at the car.
Gotcha.
It was up, player.
Because I remember you
Did
saying on
you-
radio, like, Indy, everyone, are you up? Are you good? I'm coming through the area to check you're okay. And then all of a sudden, just
silence.
I
on the
see
radio.
I see you getting pulled in on the ground by TACMed with the rest of us.
Yeah, it was because I drove through. I ended up getting lit up, and then I blacked out in the car. And then when I came back to, I saw the car over there, like by Little Bighorn and by MRPD, and then I went up to the garage. Now I will admit, when I came to the up top, I was trying to get Ayla from the up top, and there was a little bit of like a standoff between me and 2 cops. I did end up blasting there, but on below on the first approach, I did not blast. I didn't have a gun out. I don't even know how they knew it was me. I think I just got white T-shirt ID, to be honest.
Gotcha. Did you even see them? Like, did they walk up to you or anything? Like, I didn't even ask where were they in relation to you.
It sounded like it came from a rooftop, and I did not see them, not even like a little bit. I just started getting blasted at.
I think like if we just really focus on the definition of terrorism and just really lock down that this wasn't political or religious and they weren't doing this to civilians, we have a case, like we win. That's it.
I want to thank you guys because I feel a lot more at ease after speaking to you. It has kind of sucked the last 24 hours because we haven't really been spoken to. We've just been kind of losing our minds in here, but it does feel a lot more reassuring to hear it from your side.
No, we got you. We got.
Agreed.
Okay. She held someone at knife point, then cut his eye out, and then slit his throat. in an effort to get us to let her out of her sentence. We dealt with that situation, which is when we contacted you. We just came down here and she just tried to stab another inmate, that gentleman over there, with a machete, and she was shot
Where
again.
the
So
fuck is she getting these?
I don't know. I have a working theory that people are essentially just throwing knives over the prison roof. But when we got here, someone had lockpicked their way through the front gate of the prison. So they might just be handing them to them through a fence, for all I know.
Well, that explains the hot tub.
The hot tub.
Yeah, there's yeah,
The door's locked.
Oh,
Oh,
that might be my fault.
Sorry, Sam.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, that explains
So
the
we're just
hot
getting-
tub.
Yeah.
That's
So
a
we're just
problem.
getting a medical treatment. She's generally disgruntled about the whole bail thing. The first thing when I got here, they said they hadn't been given bail, and then one of them said, "No, they're going to charge us 400,000." I said, "Well, it would be 10% of that, I should imagine."
That is correct, and it was 300,000 as the original.
300,
That was proposed by the prosecution. We're currently still weighing out the options there. I've just made a reproposition within the hour.
Okay.
If you'd believe it. So that's something.
Yeah.
Can I make a request here? I don't have the
Yes,
full
sir.
situation here going on right now, but considering that 6 of my clients are in there and the stir craziness is really getting to them, can I request that the hot tub be left?
We're not moving any furniture out of here. We literally came in. Came in to deal with a hostage situation.
Okay.
And that's it. We've no interest in removing furniture or inconveniencing anybody.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Miss Rose. We've been apprised a little bit of what's going on, and first of all, I want to just fill you in a little bit. Within the last
I'm not
hour,
staying here. I was told that on a hot charge between 12 and 24 hours, you get allowed out on bail. Now, I'm still in here 48 hours later, and I haven't been given bail, so...
Hugo is currently working on the bail agreement.
I understand, but that's not within the premise of the time frame that I was given. Now, you guys don't have to sit behind bars for that period of time, but I do.
no, I 100% understand where you're coming from on
I
that.
was told maximum 24 hours till I would be out of here on bail. Do you know what? I'm probably going to fucking deny the bail conditions because they're absolutely fucking ridiculous. They're so stupid and they're undoable. There's no way that anyone can abide by those bail conditions. There's no way. I do not have 30k to give you. I don't have it, so I can't do it.
So
I don't
you
think it would be
guys-
30k.
So actually, right now, the DA did push for $300,000 per client. I responded with $150,000, and the judges responded with the fact that the DA skipped a very important step in not providing actual evidence for anything. So we're already whittling that down, and I've already tried to push for having it in the first place. I also pushed back against, I believe... Let me check this real quick, one sec. So they pushed 8 terms, and I immediately returned back with 5 of those terms being wrong or non-specific enough. The first one I went for was exactly what we talked about too, making sure that you all could stay together as a group. I spent my most time arguing that one, and then a bunch of the other stuff I was doing on behalf of Mr. Bobby and a couple of other people, and just making sure that everything was on the up and up. They came at us hard with those bail options earlier today, and yeah, getting the response that we currently have. The judge is looking it all over right now as we speak, from what I can see.
Well, the judge needs to speak to us then. The judge needs to speak to us because I can't do this. I can't do this anymore.
Now, I know a lot of people have different perspectives on them, and a lot of people have different feelings about the social club known as the Saints. However, I personally would be willing to see them as pillars of the community in one sense or another.
They seized a PD.
That is what's supposed here. However,
you're too far in the defense sauce. You could say, I mean, Jesus Christ, Hugo.
Hugo, they are a gang. They're a gang. They're not. They're not a social club.
Actually, you're gonna tell me they're a book club.
I mean, if they sat around and read books, I'd defend that. I know they don't sit around and read books. I feel like we all know what they do.
So, all the conditions are accepted except one. They are going to be able to contact co-defendants, but nobody else from the Saints, and they cannot go to La Fuente Blanca. $100,000 for them all. accepts Indy Rose will be $150,000, which they have to pay 10% of to get out on bail. If they violate bail, they lose the whole money.
All right, that sounds amenable to us.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, I mean, you want to go chat with them to see if they want to do this?
Yeah, I'm gonna go check with them right now. I just
We
yep.
unlock the door for you.
Yeah, I just need the door unlocked. I need to be free, let in.
I mean, we're gonna come in here and be in
Yep.
here with you.
Good. All right.
Like a bail hearing.
So it seems like we've made some progress here. Would you like to propose the terms, or
Who are you talking to?
and either of you, any of you, if you would like to?
Yep. All right. So, term number one, I'll lay out the prices first, because I'm been told that's been a big contention. Every single one of you, bail will be set at $100,000. You have to pay 10% of that, which is $10,000. That goes for all except Indy Rose, because of her stab fest she had, I guess, in here today. It will be $150,000. The conditions are, you guys may contact each other while out on bail. However, you may not contact anybody else from your group, the Saints, and you cannot go to La Fuente Blanca. You're to have no contact with anybody from the Saints, blah, blah, blah. Defendants are to have no weapons, including blunt objects, bats, knives, machetes, or guns, anything like that. You cannot consume alcohol or any type of illegal drugs, or have any in your possession.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Say for example, we're in a group chat with our gang members. If they're messaging us and we don't reply.
I would highly recommend you just leave that group chat.
Okay. If someone else contacts us, like if Kareem Saint messaged me individually and I did not reply back, what happens then?
Then you didn't contact them.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay. You guys want me to read the rest of the...
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You cannot commit any crimes. That's misdemeanors or felonies. Traffic infractions are okay. You'll not be found with any within or around. Actually, we're just going to do on PD property. So unless you're trying to file a police report. So you can't go onto MRPD property, RPD property, any type of police department property at all. Unless, again, you're trying to file a police report. You are not. You're going to be subject to frisk by any police officers at any time within reason. So if they see you on the streets and they want to stop and frisk you, you have to comply. I say within reason because if they do it to accept, like you walk 20 feet away and they want to frisk you again, I would highly recommend you contact your lawyer. After that, you guys just subject to the standard bail conditions, which is already laid out here.
Can we get
All
that
right.
in writing?
Yes, all of this will be in writing and on your profiles.
Including the section specifically articulating that you are allowed to associate with one another as defense.
I have not broken bail once, and it's actually surprising because I was probably bound to be the first to do it.
I'll be right back.
Wow,
I'm
Larso,
proud
you
of
do
you.
not look like yourself.
You set a precedent.
I think we're the first group that never broke bail.
I believe one of my
I think-
clients didn't, but also that was a different scenario. Your Honors, today we stand here to contest one of the most heinous charges our legal system has ever seen. Terrorism. A charge that not only clearly is defined, but follows a specific order of events in that definition. My clients do not contest that they engaged in unlawful conduct or that they dislike the police at times. But at no point have they declared themselves to be part of a political or religious movement, or for it to have been a motivation. Furthermore, my clients never involved any civilians, let alone terrorized any. While the word terrorism can have a broad interpretation, the definition does not. Today, you're going to see that the state has failed its burden for this charge, and that instead of applying suitable charges, they have attempted to throw the entire book at my clients, an act that would only restrict the rights and freedoms of every citizen in this fine state, as well as attempt to make a mockery of this fine court. I implore you to take utmost attention to the fact that not only has the state failed to properly manage key evidence, letting the chain of custody completely fall apart with what should be information crucial to the charges they wish to levy, but also they have not properly charged my clients, period. The weight of a charge of terrorism should be given serious judgment, and with what you're about to hear today, I am certain that you will find my clients have not been given even an iota of that consideration, and should be found innocent. Thank you.
Regardless of how the judges rule, I appreciate all of you. You guys have done an amazing job.
Thank you. I'm always here to advocate for you. Regardless of this, you can always call me.
Hello. All right. Court is back in session. Now, listen up. A lot of stuff happened today. Unfortunately, some stuff got pretty scuffed. Therefore, we decided it actually was probably better just to drop all the charges besides terrorism because of all that fucking shit where people couldn't even hear anything, and I don't. It sucks, but it's better than people just claiming double jeopardy on everything and all that.
You knew it was gonna happen.
As for the terrorism, the big charge we're all here for, the HUT. Well, I want to be very clear on this. Stating you want to shoot every cop you see, and say it's all the PD's fault, saying you'll shoot any cop despite how good of terms you're on, sieging the police department, doing all those things hinders their ability to respond to the civilians of San Andreas. They are literally locked down in the department, and not to mention MRPD, it's a building for the public to go to for help and assistance, but they can't do that when it's being sieged and fucking people are doing crazy shit all over there. All of that together, and the fact that the San Andreas State Police uphold the laws and trying to hinder all of that stuff causes instability in the entire city, is inherently political, and it is very easily meeting the portion of the terrorism charge that reads the destabilization or destruction of law enforcement services. All of this was very clear, and I will rule on this many times forward. If people ever try to shut down an entire PD that is a public area that anybody can go to for assistance, and also stops those same cops from responding to calls throughout the entire city for an hour and a half, that is terrorism. You are guilty. You're all guilty of that. As for the fine in time, you're looking at 10 years, and you were also looking at $250K fine. Now, we took into account that you guys served approximately 3 years. Therefore, you'll only be serving 7 years in prison at this time, and the $250K fine as well. Consider you guys all guilty. There you go.
Thank y'all for the help.
Mr. Uriel,
Hey, what's up?
I just want to say that was hard fought, and you did very well, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you guys did a pretty good job. But yeah, the whole chain of custody thing, you guys gotta like. I mean, to me, if that's the argument you're gonna make, you gotta back it up.
That's fair. I actually do have the name now. I just blanked on it in the moment, to be honest with you. There was, like I said, I was processing 5 different people's bail. I had to witness each and every one of them.
Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, that was broken up. Like I said, I did actually witness that. I know that you in the courts, it's different than me saying it personally. I did witness that.
Yeah. All things considered, this is better than the last one, because last time I got people convicted of terrorism, all of the gangs of the city rose up and sieged City Hall.
Well, there's still time. So I won't say
Yeah, I
it won't
suppose there
happen.
is.